All right, we're back to our full slate again. We got stuff to talk
Yay!
about. Mike, let's do it.
All right, The Flash, Season 2, Episode 19, Back to Normal. A metahuman with super strength named Griffin Grey mistakes Harry for the Earth-1 Harrison Wells and kidnaps him, demanding that Wells cure him from his current condition. Realizing another brilliant Wells could help track Griffin's location, Barry asks Jesse to help. Meanwhile, Wally corners Joe about the Flash. I'll let you start with the positives.
So, I had no clue who Griffin Grey was, but I love how I just typed in Griffin on Google and the first search result was Griffin Grey. I kind of figured that Griffin would be the top result for mythological creature, but you know, this is a very weird episode.
Weird is one way to put it.
Felt really off. Don't quite know how to explain it. But it kind of, to me, this reeked of, all right, we want to find a way to have Barry recreate his experiment like in the Flashpoint, but we need to have an episode in between when they decide that Wells is going to help him do that. So what can we do? And this was their attempt at doing that, because this episode was just all over the freaking place. They had like the appreciation thing for Wally. They're finally not having him act like a two-faced snot ball sometimes, because he can be really full of himself. He's starting to seem a little bit more Wally. As soon as he gets a lot more off the wall with like jokes and stuff, he'll be a lot more like Wally. But he's starting to get there, so that was good. The Hulk version of Benjamin Button I wasn't quite understanding. Because from what I saw in a little bit in this Google thing, that is not really what the dude looks like. Being able to emit strange green lightning-like energy.
That is not what we saw.
And he's a guy in a Spectre-like uniform that is running, from the looks of it, faster than the Flash.
And
yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about him. Like I said, people, I didn't know about him until I literally just Google searched him. So if you want to go look at it, it was, yeah. His first appearance was in 2006. Wow, that was recent. Okay, anyways, back to the episode. I did appreciate that someone in real life kind of went, "You're Harrison Wells. I don't like you." Like the doctor who worked with Harrison Wells obviously kind of flipped out once you thought you saw Harrison, but then just some random dude. Again, I don't know how they found him on the middle of a highway. But that's going to go to complaints later. That someone finally just kind of went, "You ruined my life. You've shown up in this town. You're not really dead. You're going to fix me." I wanted them to finally have Harrison having to deal with someone thinking he's the other Harrison. So that was kind of fun. You go ahead. I'm running on empty here.
Okay. I liked the B and C storyline much better than the A storyline. I like all the scenes with Caitlin and Zoom in that lair, and it was fun to see her and Killer Frost team up. I have a complaint, and we'll get to that.
Oh, I bet we share that complaint.
We pretty much do.
And also, before I forget, it was really cool to actually get to see them talk, because I thought he killed her in the other episode.
Yeah, that's actually a positive. I'm glad that until we get to it, I'm glad that Killer Frost, we get to see her at least one more time. You know what?
Just want to go into it?
I'm not going to be able to lead. This episode sucked. I mean, it's not that bad. There's still things to enjoy, but honestly, guys, this is the first time I've ever had to say this about The Flash, but this is the worst episode of the series. Of the series, the jury's still on that, but of the season, you bet. You freaking bet. Where to begin? Brock, I'll let you start.
Okay. Let's go with this kid's powers or what's happening to him. He, in 6 months, went from the look of 18, or no, a year. They said a year. He said he went missing after 6 months. In a year, he aged roughly 10 years. He takes 2 swings at Barry and he's 80!
What? Said Speak, how does...
Then, when he dies, he reverts back to being 18!
How?
Why?
That
made less than no sense. And also, the guy in comics shoots green lightning bolts from his hands, and he looks like the Spectre, minus the all-knowing superpowers and being class A of the most powerful people in DC Comics.
And that translates to whatever the hell this is?
To reverse Benjamin Button. No, to the movie Jack after Robin Williams has that accident and he starts super aging. That's pretty much what this guy was with steroids. What was this thing? And it's like, also, this guy said he studied chemistry, so he knew Wells was whatever. Okay, you studied chemistry. You want to tell me how you had the GPS tracker on Wells's truck to where you met him in the middle of the highway? Where did that come from? Yeah. Also, I'm going to say it. Why the hell did you kill Killer Frost?
Can I take this one?
Go ahead, because I'm mad. You vent.
No, seriously, why did you kill this one? Like, she could have been a great kind of like anti-hero. She could have been like the Catwoman of the Flash universe. But nope. Because of, I guess, the rule of there can only be one, that is literally my only explanation. Because otherwise, it makes literally no sense why she had to die.
And they bring her back. It looked like Zoom was going to kill her. They gave a legitimate excuse for why he didn't, because he said it looked like Caitlyn. All of a sudden, he had feelings for her again, so whatever, it looked like Caitlyn. That's why he didn't kill her in the first place. But he ice picks her in 25 seconds instead of just throwing her back in a cell.
I'm so mad I don't even have words.
Yeah, and this whole Barry not having hang on, I want to get to this. The A plot of this episode is the worst case of been there, done that in the same goddamn season. Yeah,
like we had this already when Barry lost his legs. I would understand if they were calling back an episode from last year, but this was the same season.
And it was like midway through this season when that episode happened.
Frustrating. So frustrating.
There's not often I can't wrap my head around a thought on an episode? This freaking thing is an enigma because it makes no sense to me. The whole thing you got out of this episode was that finally Wally is no longer going to be a kind of pretentious jerk sometimes. He's going to be okay. You find out that Caitlin's alive and that Killer Frost is dead again. Or we thought she was dead. No, she's dead now. The only real resolve we got out of this episode is that now that Harrison felt kind of bad and he's going to help him get his powers back. You could have told us that in 5 minutes in a better episode.
Yeah. This really was like, this was a real reach of an episode. Now here's a question. Did Jess need to go away and then come back and learn to appreciate her dad? Because I'm kind of debating whether or not that's a positive simply because I like the actress, or a negative because it's a waste of a story arc.
I think that if her running away would have lasted longer than maybe 2 or 3 episodes,
then maybe.
Like maybe a season she would have been gone.
Or she didn't come back until the season finale.
Or something. Like the literal only reason she's in this episode is because Caitlin's not there.
Yeah.
If you want to be perfectly honest.
I was waiting to bring that up, but you pretty much nailed it.
Just no other reason to be here. She's magically got. I thought that was kind of funny that they're like, what, having 5 majors isn't regular here? No, girl, that's not regular anywhere. That was funny. I'll admit that gave me a lot more respect for her character. But
if that was a Cisco line of that's not regular anywhere, then yeah, that is a saving grace.
Yeah, it's just give her a reason other than being B team to Caitlin to come back. Because you're not replacing Caitlin. So what was the point of having her there?
I'm glad that there's potentially another female scientist there, maybe someone to bond with Caitlin, maybe later down the road. But this didn't feel like that at all. It felt like she was playing substitute teacher to Caitlin's character.
I agree. I don't want to complain about this episode anymore. So
yeah, let's just move on to a better episode in Arrow.
Much better episode. All right, Canary Cry, episode 19. The team struggles to deal with Laurel's death. Diggle is overwhelmed with guilt over choosing to believe that Andy had changed. Lance refuses to believe his daughter is gone. This is my first big positive is the last thing that happens in this episode.
Oh, yes.
I have had years, and I mean years, of problems with almost every single time a masked hero dies in something what happens in this episode never gets done. This entire time, this entire episode's like, Laurel's memory has been dragged through the dirt, and she can't defend herself because she's dead, and all this and this. And I'm like, for the love of God, all of you are her best friends. If anyone in this town, she would have admitted to she was the Black Canary to everyone else's knowledge, it would have been one of you people. So for the love of God, just say that she was the Black Canary so that all this BS happening right now is not pinned on her. Thank you, God, writers of CW. You actually did that at the end of the episode. And it was perfect. Lance didn't see that coming. No one saw that coming. And it sounded natural, because who would you have confided that into? Oliver frickin' Queen.
Of course.
Yeah. Also, go ahead. Sorry.
Am I the only guy who looked a little bit teary-eyed
Nope.
with that speech?
Nope. This is a great send-off episode.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I will admit, I was a little confused when this episode started. And they were talking about the funeral, and they're like, Laurel Ansley pre-approached that. This Anchorman 2 and Brick is talking at his funeral? Like, what the heck is going on? Brick, you're not dead. What is going on?
I'll admit, I was a little confused too. I'm like, but then I put 2 and 2 together, like, oh, that's what's up.
Tommy's funeral. That was cool that they tied Tommy's funeral into that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
This whole episode was good. The whole just to get to see a really viciously good, pissed off version of Diggle that we haven't got to see in a long time was great. Yeah,
and he sold it really well.
That explosion when he slams his helmet on the back of Rufy Dark's limo and just goes crazy screaming at Oliver. Oh,
I jumped to him. I'm like, whoa.
Dude, you're gonna like actually dent the back of that limo. And I love how they're not they admit the flaws of their own characters to the point of where it's almost fourth wall breaking. When Oliver talks to Diggle, coming from the foremost expert in the world on putting blame on themselves. And also, anyone that is constantly down on themselves, constantly has depression and self-doubt, this episode, in a nutshell, in one line, totally configures, and this is true for me a lot, why people that are extremely negative on themselves and they cannot find an answer in a situation do blame themselves. One line that Oliver says, do you always know why I blame myself in situations like this? Because at least it's an answer. And everything that's messed up, it's something. In all this crazy crap, it's an answer. It's that simple, people. That happens to people over time.
Mm-hmm.
They just need some form of a solid answer, and that's what it ends up being. But Lance, go ahead.
I will usually live by everything. Everything happens for a reason. Even if you don't know what the reason is. That's what I believe. Everything happens for a reason, and as soon as Oliver said that line, I'm like, I just kind of stare at the screen. I'm just like, yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Exactly. All right. I will let you go because I've said a lot of what already happened.
I told you this in a private message earlier in the week. This is the best episode of the season because this is one of the very few times. I can't say first because Smallville kind of did this earlier, but this is one of the very few times where legacy has been embraced on these CW shows. It may not be like a perfect legacy, with I forget her name, but the not Black Canary.
In Smallville?
No. In
this episode, the kid.
Yeah.
Oh, man, keep going. I'll look it up. I completely forgot.
But anyway, like it's great that we had an episode that kind of played with legacy. The funeral scene was brilliant. Probably one of the best ways to give a send off to one of the most important characters, not just on the show, but in Green Arrow's entire mythos. Black Canary is forget Felicity. Black Canary is Ollie's world, and this was the best episode to showcase that. There's so much I could say about this episode, like how every time Detective Lance was on screen, it was painful, but in the right way. Just seeing the heartbreak in his eyes. That was, man. Paul Blackthorne,
when he breaks down in that parking lot, when he just finally gives up on something bringing her back.
Yeah. I also like how Nisa came into this episode pretty much to say no. Death means death. Death is final. Mm-hmm. And we'll get to Legend of Tomorrow in a minute, but there is kind of a cool tie-in to the point where both shows pretty much deal with, like, in a sense, how death is inevitable no matter what. Like, obviously we saw it earlier in the season when Nisa destroyed the Lazarus pits, so now you can't use that to bring people back. There's, as far as we know, there's no other magic that restores life. So this is about as definitive as possible that Laurel is gone for good.
Yeah, and also, like we said, that Jesse was pretty much only on the Flash because Caitlin wasn't there. Nessa was pretty much only on Arrow to be like, oh yeah, everyone who's like, you're just going to bring her back, be like, no, we're actually not. And I'm going to pin that point and say, no, remember when I destroyed it in that one episode? Yeah, we actually meant that, and we're not bringing her back. And I'm going to say it about 5 times to make sure you guys know we're not bringing her back. Evelyn Sharp, by the way, with that kid's name.
Oh, yeah.
I thought they said Snart the first time, and I had a little bit of a mini, like, what was that last name again?
the Snart extended family tree.
Yeah. Yeah, everything was compiled. They even had some closure with Tommy, and the flashbacks being between Laurel and Oliver was really good, just showing how close they were in all this. And even they showed the little bit before Oliver left in season 2. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I really dug that.
Yeah, this is not my favorite episode. My favorite episode is still the episode when Oliver found out that Quentin was working with Dark and royally ripped his head clean off his shoulders.
That's my favorite scene.
Oliver Queen.
That's my favorite scene of the season.
Yeah, that was, to me, he is Oliver Queen. It happened right there. But yeah, it's not a perfect episode, but it's a really, really, really good episode.
Oh yeah. If I had any complaints, I guess it might go to not Canary. Just like some of the scenes she was in, she didn't really seem to sell it that well, but in the grand scheme of things, that's a minor complaint.
Yeah. So yeah, my complaint is also in the realm of not selling it, but it's gonna go to Mrs. Lance.
Oh,
she was cheeseballing it pretty hard at that funeral scene. But yeah. Quentin, there's got to be another way, she was nearing William Shatner speech patterns in that funeral scene. And I don't know if she's got no other acting that she has to do between now and the last time we saw her, but man, it seemed like she hadn't been in front of a camera in a while.
Sorry, Doctor Who fans.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm probably going to get berated that she's so good doing everything else, but I'm sorry. She was wooden as Pinocchio in that scene.
Okay, you know what? I have another complaint. Where the hell is Donna? I mean, was she only not there because Mrs. Lance was in town, and she's just like, you know what? I'm gonna back off today. I can imagine that.
I never thought about that. You know, but that's probably a good excuse. If she was there, she was probably sitting about 15 rows back because, you know, I could see, all right, in my own head canon, now that you mentioned it, I can see Donna being respectful enough to go, that's not my daughter. That is Dinah's daughter. Her and Lance need to be there. I could see her doing that. She's probably at Lance's place when he gets back, getting ready to comfort him and spend the day with him. But
that I could understand.
Yeah, she's probably not there because, to be perfectly honest, I cannot, off the top of my head, think of a scene where Donna talked to Laurel.
There was only like that one moment. It was at some party where Laurel saw Donna and Lance together for the first time.
Yeah, at the it's the episode where they get captured and put in that gas thing.
Yep.
At that party for his
for Ollie's campaign.
Yeah, for Ollie's campaign. Yes, that's what I was trying to think of. Yes, but yeah, other than that, I had no complaints really. It was a really, really good episode.
One more surprising positive before we move on to Legends. No Damien Dark, like at all.
Yeah.
The only reason it's a positive is because we didn't need him in this episode. This was like a memorial service for Laurel.
Yeah.
And him being there would have felt out of place.
Yeah, it would have. You got a good point there.
All right. And now we're moving on to Legends of Tomorrow. Season 1, Episode 13, Leviathan. This is London 2166. Rip takes the team to London in the year 2166, 3 months before his family is killed. He believes this to be their final opportunity to take out Savage, who is, unfortunately, at the height of his powers. However, the team discovers 2 key elements to defeating him. One of them being Savage's daughter, and the means to kill Savage once and for all. All right, Brock, I'll throw this off to you.
Going back to when I talked about one line nailing a character really well, Snart is having a conversation with Cassandra, Savage's daughter, and he's trying to convince her of how much of a douchebag her dad is and how worthless he is. And he's trying to explain to her how the resistance isn't a resistance. It's people trying to just not die, pretty much. And in his way of explaining to her that it makes no sense how he's dealing with them, how he's on an attack and he's not on a defense, he point blank says, your father sent a 200-foot robot to crush tents.
I love Snart.
Yeah, like, you know, that was a really good way of showing that. And also, they did something, again, where I'm screaming at them, screaming at the screen. I'm like, there's no way that you don't have some kind of cam footage of it proving that he just did this deed. I'm like, okay, thank you. You showed her that. One other gigantic positive, pun intended.
I know where you're going with this.
You guys will hear me complain when the Flash has his slow-mo scenes that he looks like an over Vaseline plastic doll sometimes. So when they showed Jackson screw with his suit, I'm like, all right, they're going to make him grow big and he's going to fight this thing. And I'm terrified that this is going to look like hot garbage. And I mean hot garbage. That scene looked really good.
Yeah.
That whole thing looked awesome.
There's only one hiccup in that scene. It's when Ray is like lying down.
Yep.
And you see a close up of his face. That's the only time like, ew, no.
Yeah. There's a minor complaint I have about that scene, but it's not with the CGI, and we'll talk about that later. But
that scene itself was just awesome. It reminded me so much of Pacific Rim.
Yes,
like
they're running patterns.
Yeah,
I was just waiting for one of them to pick up a building and just, but everyone had a good moment here. I'm really shocked at how much I loved the actress. What is her name?
Oh, Jessica, the one who plays
Sipos. Is that how you say her name? Sipos? The girl that plays his daughter. I swore on my life that I saw her in something else. I just checked her IMDb. No, I have not. She looks so familiar, but
she does, and yet
I got nothing.
Yeah. Her chemistry with Snart was just incredible.
If they can take her out of time somehow or get her to play someone else, don't waste her on that one part. She was so good.
Hell, you could just have her be on the team for the rest of the show.
Oh, dude, if they recruited away his daughter. Oh, Michael. All right. You go ahead.
Damn, there's too much that I like about this episode. I don't even know where to begin. Why don't I begin with Stein? Stein is like the only one in the series who Stein and Ray are like the only people on the team who are true blue superheroes on the team. And also, I liked when they teamed up as Science Bros. That was fun. But Jack sees the village, those refugees, hands him some chocolate, but then sees more and I'm sorry, I don't have any more. Mm-hmm. Stein comes in Jax, why don't we go back to the ship? We will bring back more supplies for the refugees. Yes. And then when shit really hits the fan, Stein has the bright idea of bringing everyone aboard the ship, even though Rip is no, that's a terrible idea, because Rip is Rip.
Exactly.
And then that's another thing. I think you said already. Every character has their moment, even ones who technically aren't alive. Yeah. The flashback scene with Carter and the mace.
Mm-hmm. Also dipping the mace in the ancient bracelet. That was pretty slick.
Yeah. Oh, there's too much. So why don't you just fill in the gaps?
Finally getting to see Cassandra, or seeing her let loose on Savage, was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
That was good. I said it before, I'll say it again. The robot fight with the Atom was great. Jax being his moral support and talking with him That was so good. Uh,
You know what? Savage's big motivational speech at the beginning was deliciously cheesy in the best way.
yes, cheesy is an extremely good way of putting it. We're gonna talk about it because it's partially gonna be a big thing and partially gonna lead to a complaint of mine later. But Carter was in the last 5 minutes of this episode.
That raises questions.
A lot of them, because to me, I was like, they've got all this cast, and all of them are gonna be in this show. Carter gets off in the first episode. Well, that guy got shafted, but he's back. Also, one other thing before we get too much into Carter. Rory, Mick, ever since he came back, has been on wildfire for me liking him as a character.
Oh, yeah.
He's good at everything. Like, all of his comments, everything. He's just on point all the time now.
He is like the Cisco of Legends.
And it happened like that.
When it's not Snart, it's Mick.
Yep. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah. Other than just talking about like obvious moments of them going over with just little good parts all throughout it was a good episode. So if you have any other big things, like if you want to go into it about Carter,
you know what? Yeah, let's talk about Carter, because there are questions that I have about all of this. But the biggest one that I want to focus on is how did Vandal Savage erase pretty much his memories? Like how is it just that manipulative that or here's another thing. Did he even do anything? And like is Carter on like some secret undercover mission? You want to take a swing at this?
I don't know. I just this whole thing where that we're gonna get into complaint territory here. Just forewarning, this is gonna bleed into complaints. Carter showing up. This will be the third time I'm saying this. Carter showed up in that episode just so that Cassandra wouldn't kill Savage and they could make it through the rest of the season. Carter was a 3-episode time extension. That's all he was in an episode.
Holy shit, you're right.
I'm just saying. Because if not, that mace would have went right through Vandal's cranium and the show would have been over.
And you know what? I will spin some pros and cons to that. On the one hand, I'm gonna be honest. As great as the fight between Kendra and Savage was, to end the show there might have been a little bit anticlimactic. Because I just felt like this episode wasn't as awesome as it was. It wasn't epic enough to be a season finale. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that we have 3 more episodes to really shake things up.
Yeah.
However, the con of that is 3 episodes might be a little bit too much time. And it's like everyone on the team was telling Kendra, just do it. And she doesn't do it. And
she doesn't do it because she saw Carter for 5 seconds. Oh, I can already hear my friend Doug Thomas from church going to blow my ear clean off. Whenever one of these really dumb, just we need to make 3 more episodes kind of things comes up, he just. And I can't tell him he's wrong. And like, I'm like, okay, if she honestly kills Savage right here, it'd be all right because we got 3 episodes left. And I see the Time Masters coming after them and them having some big showdown with a platoon of like Kronos-esque bads because they majorly did
like
something.
The Time Masters are like the real big bads of the season.
Yeah, like they end up being the one big bad guy at the very end. Like, give or take, you had the mid-card boss here, obviously, but they're not just magically going to forget that they went back in time, killed Vandal Savage, and extremely changed history. The Time Masters are still going to be pissed off. So they're going to have to deal with them eventually. I kind of thought that's what that was going to be. And that, it just felt so jarring. That was my other con. It's just like, no one's in that room. Every single person is fighting the group outside, except
except for this one like henchman who just happens to be Carter.
Walks in. Vandal doesn't hit some switch. He doesn't communicate over some walkie, and he doesn't scream for help. This guy just happens to be at the right moment, at the right time, doesn't know that's Kendra, but knows to come in there, and she just hits him hard enough in the chest to where his helmet flies off.
Just one too many coincidences. But that's it. That's the only negative that I could possibly have about this episode. Everything else was just so good.
Now, back to the robot fight. I have my one complaint about this episode, and this happens every time except for in Power Rangers. This is literally, Power Rangers is the only show that understands how movement works with giant objects. That robot is a giant metal machine, so it should move at the speed of molasses. Ray Palmer is a regular human with normal joints and normal mobility. Why is he moving as slow, if not slower, than that robot? This happens all the frickin' time whenever they make someone giant size to fight something. Magically, they like just get hit with some super slow-mo ray and they've got a... It's like the only time in Power Rangers, when they make Goldar 20 stories tall, he's running at the speed of lightning because he's a normal human who weighs 200 pounds fighting a 200-ton robot that can't move as fast as him. Yes, I made a Power Rangers reference. People deal with it. I'm a kid from the 90s.
I blame shows like Gundam and other mech shows that kind of break the laws of physics.
All right, that's kind of true. You're not wrong.
Because that's kind of what it reminded me of. Like it was a mix of Gundam meets like Pacific Rim meets I don't know, other insert classic giant fights here.
Insert one of 500 animes.
Pretty much.
But
yeah, like that's such a weird trope where like I'm just a normal human, but I'm like 300 feet tall, but I'm not a giant.
So magically now I move 500 times slower. People, tell me in the comments if I don't understand how physics work, but just because you're bigger, that doesn't mean that you are magically 1,000 times slower.
It's a silly complaint to have, but it's a complaint nonetheless.
Yeah. But all right.
Let's see. We have 3 episodes left of Legends, and we have 4 left of Arrow and Flash. Things are about to go down now.
Yes, they are. And me and Mike did talk about something of how we're going to deal with the finales for the show, and we have an idea, but we don't know how we're going to do it yet, so we're not going to say. We just know what we're doing. We don't know when. So we're getting kind of over normal time on this episode, so we save news if we get any next week. I assume there's not going to be a lot, unless that guy who's on Legends gets cast, which I don't think he will. Well, I mean, they won't say what he is, I should say. Even though I'm about 9,000% sure he's Booster Gold.
There is one story I want to do, just because I want to end.
Okay.
I want to end on something positive.
Okay.
Kevin Smith is set to return to direct another Flash episode. Apparently, the cast and crew really liked the one that he directed. That's
shocker.
That's going to be episode 21 of this season, and they liked it. They liked it so much that he's gonna come back and do another one. That's good news, and I figured we should end on that, just because we were so down on this week's Flash.
Yeah, down is putting it mildly. Let's not talk about that episode.
Yeah, the sooner we forget that, the better.
Oh my gosh! But all right, everybody. Thank you again for watching. We appreciate it every time you do. And it's hard to believe we've almost gotten this season over with while doing this after show for this long.
I know. Wow. Where has the time gone?
I don't know, but it went fast, especially with all these dumb breaks. I'm Brock Emmerich. You can find me at WayneTech7 on Twitter, at Organoid0 on YouTube, and Geeks and Gamers and Sons and Daughters of AMC. Mike, where can they find you?
You guys can find me at Coach K42 on Twitter. Geeks and Gamers, Sons and Daughters of Collider Movie Talk. And then last 2 things, sign up for geeksgamers.com. The Geek boards have lots of great topics every day. Whole lot of fun. You get geek points, you win some stuff. It's a good time. And last but not least, make sure you subscribe to the Geeks and Gamers YouTube channel. You got Arrowverse After Show, Ask an Admin, We Are Geek, various reviews and vlogs and stuff. Whole bunch of good stuff coming. So stay tuned for that.
Definitely. All right, everyone. We'll see you next time.